So when it comes down to the LDS Church, the Church of Latter-day Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and the rest of the churches in the world, or basically just the country as basically a whole, marriage is a huge difference that we find. The rest of the world handles it as a contract. It's a civil marriage, right? So you say, for better or worse, richer or poor, sickness and health, to death do you part. When I think about it, it's relatively depressing. uh, because you're saying that it's going to end, basically. I mean, you say for better or worse, and sickness and health, right? But you're saying it's going to end. Till death do you part. I mean, it's going to end. In the LDS Church, it's not considered as a contract. It's a sealing between two people. It's a literal bonding because you're creating a unit of society. You're creating a family. So it's a literal bonding. Um, and so instead of saying till death do you part, it's for time and all eternity. There's no end to it. There's no, there's no hope of getting out. It's sacred. You don't want it to end. You created something with someone else, and that will last forever, past death. And in the LDS Church, families are so important. It is a very huge focal point of the church, because it is very evident that families are being attacked. Marriage itself is being attacked. It's not as important anymore. It's not necessary, apparently, in our society. Divorce is higher than ever. And so our church really tries to protect that value of family. And it has plenty of tools to help protect it, to keep families safe, to keep marriages safe. And one of the biggest things is keeping God in that marriage. And so what's interesting is I've learned that there's a triangle, right? And so at each point of the triangle is a different person. You have this point of the triangle is a husband, and this one's a wife, and at the top, or I guess you can flip it around, but on the other point is God, is our Father in heaven. And we find that sometimes it's hard to grow towards each other. Sometimes someone's pushing harder and someone's not pushing enough, or you just don't find each other at all times. But what's interesting is if we both grow towards Heavenly Father, if we're both putting our God first in our lives, we find ourselves meeting at that point. And no matter what, we're going to be there. We'll grow closer together by growing closer to God. And that's the most interesting thing, because when we have God in our relationships, we have Him on our side. We have this extra wall to protect from those attacks on the family. And we can, raise future generations and prepare them for the world's adversities with a mother and a father. And it's very important to have both. And it's interesting because I've found in making a genogram this week the power that the Melchizedek priesthood holds. The priesthood being the power of God that men in our church hold. And it's that power that brings that safety to our families, that power of God. It gives men the ability to preside over families, to make powerful decisions. And that being said, there's power of women there too. When we have family meetings, family scripture readings, family prayer, family time in general, our families are strengthened, our marriages are strengthened. And when we have God there in the relationship, it's hard to have an unhappy relationship. Because when we keep those commandments and when we follow the laws and ordinances, is that God has put before us, we're selfless, we're humble, we're just happy in general. And so it's easier to have peace whenever you are following the teachings of our Heavenly Father. And so I ask and I implore you that you try to keep God in your marriages. And I promise that it will be very happy and peaceful one.